Good evening and a very warm welcome to your platform on NewsX. Speak Out India, I'm Akshay Tandon. This beggars belief. In news coming in after Uttar Pradesh University expelled 67 Kashmiri students for allegedly cheering for Pakistan during a cricket match. Now reports indicate that the students have been booked for sedition by the Uttar Pradesh police. For a moment, let's take a look at the nature of the action taken by the university. Well, some students reportedly cheered for Pakistan during a cricket match between India and Pakistan during the Asia Cup. And according to university, since nobody really owned up for doing so, believe it or not, all of 67 students of Kashmiri origin were suspended en masse. And now, adding insult to injury, these students have been booked for sedition. The police have made it clear that though they have not named anyone in the FIR on the university's request, investigation will be carried out in the matter.
जो पाकिस्तान और इंडिया का मैच हुआ था क्रिकेट का, पाकिस्तान के जीतने के बाद में 9 साढ़े 9 बजे रात के आसपास में सुभारती कॉलेज में लड़के टीवी देख रहे थे। उसमें से पाकिस्तान के जीतने के बाद कुछ लड़कों ने नारे लगा दिए। उसमें लड़कों से फिर बहस हुई और उसके बाद फिर उन्होंने फर्नीचर में तोड़फोड़ की। इस संबंध में पीके गर्ग रजिस्ट्रार के प्रार्थना पत्र के आधार पर थाना जानी में मुकदमा अपराध संख्या 113, 124A, 153A और 427 भारतीय दंड विधान के अंतर्गत अभियोग।
Well, there is shock and anger in Kashmir over what many are calling an extreme reaction. Now, questions are being asked of the university authorities as to why were action taken against the students without any proper investigation being done in the matter. The en masse expulsion has also raised more questions. Now, even the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Omar Abdullah, has raised questions as to whether the Uttar Pradesh police overstepped its boundaries.
There has been a lot of outrage across social networking after what happened to those two Kashmiri students in Meerut here. Leading the outrage, of course, is Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah here. I'll read out some of the tweets in which he says that sedition charge against Kashmiri students is an unacceptably harsh punishment that will ruin the futures and will further alienate them. He concludes by saying that he has just spoken to the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, who has assured him that he will personally look into the matter of Kashmiri students in Meerut. The outrage echoed by Omar Abdullah has also been reflected on other tweets from common citizens here. Some of them I'll just read out. India accusing innocent Kashmiris of sedition and Pakistan should be reflecting on its Kashmir policy. Talk about losing the plot. He then goes on to say that some members who were happy when a school threw out students for not participating in Narendra Modi's run are happy with the arrest of these Kashmiri students here. And finally, Surya Narayan Ganesh saying, why didn't police arrest BJP India Home Minister L.K. Advani for going to Pakistan and praising Jinnah? Kashmiri students are just children.
वहाँ के लड़के जो थे उन्होंने हम पर गालियाँ शुरू कर दी। सर फिर हम अपने हॉस्टल की तरफ जा रहे थे तो वो हमारे पीछे पीछे आए और जब हम हमारे दो हॉस्टल हैं, एक MLD और दूसरा VHR। हम जो सेकंड ईयर के स्टूडेंट्स हैं हम VHR में रहते हैं और जो सीनियर्स हैं हमारे थर्ड ईयर फाइनल ईयर और वो MLD में रहते हैं। सर फिर हम अपने हॉस्टल में चले गए तो कुछ लड़कों ने हमारे कमरों पे पत्थर मारे, शीशे तोड़ दिए हमारे कमरों पे और फिर वहाँ से हमने वार्डन को बुलाया। सर ये हुआ, उसको हमने फ़ोन किया तो वो उसने देखा। सर फिर हम रात भर घबराहट हमें थी और हम एक दूसरे के कमरे में सोए, 5-6 लड़के। सर फिर जब सुबह आया लड़के कॉलेज गए थे, हमारा एग्ज़ाम चल रहा था। सर फिर 1 बजे में पता चला कि आप 3 दिनों के लिए सस्पेंड हो कॉलेज से और 5,000 आप पर फाइन।
If somebody is appreciating,
लड़के कॉलेज गए थे, हमारा एग्ज़ाम चल रहा था। सर फिर 1 बजे में पता चला कि आप 3 दिनों के लिए सस्पेंड हो कॉलेज से और 5,000 आप पर फाइन।
If somebody is appreciating and celebrating Pakistani win, being an Indian, I think it's treason. That's one thing that we should realize.
तो इसमें कोई किसी की टीम की प्रशंसा कर रहा तो नई कौन सी बात। हिंदुस्तान में तो बहुत बार होता रहा और हिंदुस्तान पाकिस्तान के मैच में तो जनरली ये चीज देखने को मिलती है। तो मैं नहीं समझ पाया कि इसमें कौन अचंभे की चीज थी, कौन इतनी जल्दी की बात थी। और मैं मुख्यमंत्री को विश्वास दिलाता हूँ कि वो बात कर ले, समस्या का समाधान हो जाएगा।
So the question we are asking you tonight on Speak Out India is, should Kashmiri students have been charged with sedition for cheering for Pakistan, and have the police overreacted by booking students who Omar Abdullah claims were misled? Our telephone lines are now open. Go ahead and share your thoughts tonight on Speak Out India on the numbers that's flashing on your screens, 01204369420, or go ahead and express yourself tonight. Well, joining me on the show I have with me Mr. Tanveer Sadiq, spokesperson of the NC. I have with me Brigadier Mahalingam, strategic expert in the studio, and I also have with me Abdul Qadir Chaudhary, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, joining us. Let me go first to Mr. Chaudhary and understand. Mr. Chaudhary, many are asking this question today. Without proper investigation, how is it that the Uttar Pradesh police has charged these students of such a serious charge like sedition? Mr. Chaudhary.
I am personally of the opinion that the charges should not stick, and I am sure they would not stick. I just heard Umar Abdullah talking to the UPC of Mr. Akhilesh Yadav, and I can assure you, the way I know my Chief Minister, I know my party, these students, these boys, these young minds will come again to the university and will study here fearlessly.
No, but Mr. Chaudhary, why would you put these students through so much of humiliation and trauma? If you're saying that this will be revoked, if you're saying they will go back to the university, the question is, why would you put them through so much trauma in the first place, sir? And are you going to go ahead and take action against those in your administration in UP, in the police force, who pressed these serious charges against them? Will you take action against them, Mr. Chaudhary? We welcome what you're saying, though. You will revoke these charges against them.
No, I'm not saying that we will, but I tell you, my friend, that first of all, see, any action which is taken is to be seen in the context in which it happens. And the first and foremost responsibility of an administration or of a government is to see that no untoward incident happens. And we know the elections have been declared yesterday. The CEC has announced the dates and all. And our country, this is not
Mr. Chaudhary, I understand where you're coming from. You're talking about the action that has been taken by the university to prevent an untoward incident from taking place, and that's why they went ahead to suspend the students. That's stage one. That's stage one. The stage two is about the charges.
Now, my friend, you see, where is Meerut?
Mr. Chaudhary, just give me a few moments, sir. The show is Speak Out India. I want to bring in as many voices as we can. I will come back to you for more, sir. Please stay with me. I want to bring in Kailash now, who's joining us from Mumbai. Kailash, please go ahead, express yourself.
Okay, well.
Akshay, we're talking about the Delhi incident, right?
We're talking about the sedition charges against 67 Kashmiri students.
Sorry, I got it.
Yes.
Yeah, see, first of all, we should not compromise as far as our national patriotism is concerned. Please don't bring secularism in this context, because secularism will defeat and nationalism will also defeat it. Go ask this question to the soldier who is fighting on the border in the snow. If they start shouting, hailing Pakistan after the victory, what you will do? Come on.
Okay.
No compromise on nationality.
Okay.
No secularism or communism. No.
Okay.
Please don't take a liberal view. We are talking about country.
All right, Kailash. Point taken there. Thank you very much for calling in. Rajpal is also joining us from Mumbai. Go ahead, Rajpal. Speak your mind out.
Akshay, firstly, I congratulate the senior superintendent of police of Meerut and the station in charge of the police station, who has rightly booked these people for sedition. But I am not happy that they have not been arrested. By this time, they should have been inside the jail, and they should be charge sheeted. Now, I do not agree with Umar Abdullah. Umar Abdullah is playing a double game. I'm telling you. And one hand, there are so many leaders, Congress leaders, they say they want communist violence bill to be passed.
Okay.
But so that the people should suffer, and they should raise. They खाएंगे हिंदुस्तान का और गाएंगे पाकिस्तान का.
Okay.
They are on the scholarship from the Prime Minister.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much indeed for participating, Rajpal, and calling us on the show. Let me now bring in Ms. Usha Rao, who is joining us from Bangalore. Go ahead, ma'am. Speak your mind out.
Yes. You know, the police have overreacted by charging the Kashmiri students with sedition. I think sedition is too harsh a charge, though what the students did was definitely wrong. You know, by celebrating Pakistan's victory over India, these students have clearly admitted where their loyalties lie. No patriotic Indian will ever celebrate India's defeat, that too against Pakistan, a country that has always been inimical to India. Since these students are young and they, in their youthful exuberance, have probably got carried away. Let us give them one more chance.
Okay.
They should be suspended with a stern warning. And you know, the JNK Chief Minister and the people of Kashmir should not now play the victim card by saying that the rest of India perceives Kashmiris as traitors. It's not like that. It is a bounden duty of every Indian, including Kashmiris, to prove that their loyalty lies with their motherland.
All right. Well said there, ma'am. Thank you very much for calling. And I want to go across to Mr. Tanveer Sadiq of the National Conference now, who's joining us live. Mr. Sadiq, firstly, I'm sure you will appreciate and welcome what Mr. Chaudhary has said. He has said that these charges will not stick anymore to these students and they will be welcomed back to the university and they'll be very safe in the university. Do you welcome that statement?
Of course, that's a welcome step because the Chief Minister had spoken to the counterpart in UP and he had promised that he will personally look into this matter. But what is really unfortunate is that, you know, when we talk about sedition charges, the first person that comes to my mind is Parveen Togadia with the hate speeches he had put, and there were sedition charges against him. Now, these poor students who had gone there, I mean, that's a different debate whether they should have cheered for one team or the other. That's a different story. I have a question here. I mean, I'm amazed because I was listening to all your callers. I remember there was a match. I don't remember when it was. It was somewhere in Bangalore. And the whole Indian crowd stood up when Pakistan won or Pakistan did something. So I don't understand why wasn't all those people charged with sedition that time? I mean, it's a game, for heaven's sake. Why don't you put it just like a game? Now this, I mean, please understand, these students have grown up in a militancy affected area where they have seen only bloodshed. Now they need some time to come out of it. Instead of people going out of way and helping them out, if you frame charges against them with sedition charges, I think that's a way too
harsh of the administration of UP, you are saying. Stay with me, Mr. Sadiq. I want to bring in Brigadier Mahalingam before I go back to callers on the show. Brigadier Mahalingam, your first response to how the story has panned out and the kind of charges that have been pressed against these 67 students because they are of Kashmiri origin.
First of all, what is striking is the sloganeering as well as the vandalizing which these people have done. Now, the students must understand, after all, they have come there for studies. It is not those 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 leaders who made this, but there are any number of students who have come there. The parents have spent a lot of money primarily to study. Now, second thing is, there are certain sensibilities involved. There are people who give their lives for the country, ignoring the welfare and well-being of their family and young children. Now, in a country like that, you cannot be shouting slogans against India as well as against a country which is inimical to it.
Okay.
Now, having said that, let me say, perhaps the police was little hasty in framing sedition charges.
Right.
What ought to have been done was a proper inquiry, and after the inquiry, necessary actions should have been taken.
Absolutely.
And if a person is really guilty, if any one of those people who are guilty and those who instigated this particular sloganeering and vandalizing, they must be expelled from the college because there will be a source of trouble every time.
That's the whole point, Brigadier Mahalingam. Why didn't we not wait for the inquiry before actually suspending all of them, and on top of that having sedition charges against them? That's the main story. That's the crux of it. I want to go across to Amit now, who is joining us from Pune. Amit, please go ahead, express yourself.
Sir, with all due respect to the panelists and to you, when we are talking about the nation, go to any country, go to look at any history, any future. There cannot be compromise. See, what we are talking about, sir, see, as it is, we are having lots of problems. And you want this secularism and this process and the system and inquiry. Come on, sir, when it's question of treason, there is no excuse, there is no the reason why we should delay this thing.
Okay.
Because if you play, you are going to enter other
Well, after the inquiry, Amit, like Brigadier Mahalingam was saying, after the inquiry, if they are found guilty, yes, charges should be pressed against them indeed.
There is no inquiry. Come on.
Okay. You're saying there will be no fair inquiry. Thank you very much indeed for calling in, Amit. I want to go back to Mr. Chaudhary. Mr. Chaudhary, like I began by asking you, many are saying that it's your police. It's the police in Uttar Pradesh today that overreacted. This was a knee-jerk reaction on their part when they pressed sedition charges against all of these 67 students. The fact is that they did not mention anybody on the request of the university. But why be so hasty? Today you say you'll revoke those charges. Why be so hasty in the first place, Mr. Chaudhary? What will you do about that?
Now, my dear friend, I'm sure you'll agree with me and all will agree with me that if you are doing a destruction for the cause of construction later on. But at this point in time, at that very point in time, it looks bad, it looks destructive. But then it becomes constructive later on, you know. So you have to act at the moment, at that moment in time to see that things are all right. And we all understand, please give me a few moments, you know, that we are in a very critical situation. You know. The country is on the doors of election. Please let me finish, you know. And not anybody else, less than the Home Minister himself wrote letters to the states saying that there will be communal problems, there will be you know, clashes and all that, and be alert and all that. And if the Chief Minister and the police there, please let me finish, you know, have taken an action which, thank God, has stopped the communal minded people, you know, to play any games of theirs which they are looking for, you know. We know there are people who want to polarize the votes, you know, and they can win and they can make their Prime Minister candidate only if they polarize and do bloodshed, you know.
We are not talking about national politics just as yet, sir. We're talking about a university in Meerut. We're talking about 67 students who are actually there on Prime Minister's special scholarship scheme. And we're talking about the action that has been taken against them. I'm going to come back to you, sir. Please stay with me. I want to bring in Sampath, meanwhile, who is joining us from Bangalore. Go ahead, Sampath. Speak your mind out.
Please.
Sir, I agree with you about the inquiry and those things. But before that, the student who concerned or alleged student, they should first make their stand clear whether they want to apologize or whether they were misquoted or whether they have not said all those things. If they still stand by and no, they stand, yes, they have held Pakistan or anybody, then what is the question of inquiry? And please don't bring this vote bank, Congress,
Indeed.
No.
Totally unnecessary at this point in time. Yes.
Please bar all these politicians. They are going to mess up the country on vote bank politics.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for calling in, Sampath. In fact, we have some breaking news that's coming in on this story. In fact, the Vice-Chancellor of that very university in Meerut, Swami Vivekananda University, has spoken exclusively to NewsX and is admitting that charges of sedition against the students are unnecessary. Let's take a listen into what the Vice-Chancellor is saying.
Joined by the Vice-Chancellor of Subharti University, Mr. Vice-Chancellor Manzoor Ahmed. Don't you think it was over-sensitivity because now they are being charged with Section 124A, Section 153A and 427. Section 124A sedition, which is against India. So don't you believe that by your action the alienation feeling would grow further?
May I tell you, the university has nothing to do with it. We didn't lodge an FIR with the police. We didn't put these sections. Our job was only action here, disciplinary action against the boys. We suspended them, and that suspension was also for a period till further orders.
So that suspension still continues?
Yes, till further orders.
In fact, I have seen the FIR in which name of Mr. P.K. Garg is written. Who is P.K. Garg from your university?
See, we sent a letter to the IG, DIG and SSP that day. When vacating the hostel, some boys were resisting. So we asked them to help in getting the boys hostel vacated, number one. And then we also asked them to escort them to Delhi.
Okay, so there we heard the Vice-Chancellor saying that the charges were unnecessary, and all they did was they actually just suspended the students and they did not report it to the police, and they haven't pressed for these charges against them. I want to bring in Brigadier Mahalingam. Brigadier Mahalingam, the bigger problem over here is the example that has been set today by UP administration and this particular university, that if you're a Kashmiri and you've supported Pakistan on a cricket match, mind you, we do not know yet about the inquiry. Details haven't come out whether they came out with anti-India slogans or not. Yes, they were supporting Pakistan is a fact, but this establishes the fact that if you're a Kashmiri supporting Pakistan, you become a traitor, and then you're charged under sedition.
No, that is absolutely absolutely wrong. That should not have happened.
That's what's happened, sir.
No, we have.
But this establishes the fact that if you're a Kashmiri supporting Pakistan, you become a traitor, and then you're charged under sedition.
No, that is absolutely absolutely wrong. That should not have happened.
That's what's happened, sir.
No, we have to find out. The point is we have to find out, but there has been occasions in earlier places where some of these students have raised anti-India slogans.
Yes.
Some of them have raised slogans in support of Pakistan. It might have happened, might not have happened. It is only an inquiry which will reveal. If there is somebody who has done this, they should be punished, and if not, this is absolutely nonsense. This should not have happened, because after all, we have to understand they are students, they are not matured, they are not into the entire story of how things between India and Pakistan is going. Therefore, we have got to be very practical, and we have to be very careful in handling these cases. Secondly, it is also one point which I need to mention. Meerut is a sensitive area.
Yes.
Now, the police might have got that in their head, and that could have been one of the reasons why sedition charges might have been quickly sort of put across, so that the entire thing can be quietened.
Okay.
Therefore, this sort of a thing should not happen, proper inquiry, but if they are found guilty in that, if those who have raised slogans anti-India, if there were any, they should
that can only be
punished.
established after a thorough inquiry into the matter. I want to bring in Paninder Rao, meanwhile, who is joining us from Bangalore. Go ahead, Mr. Rao.
नमस्ते साहब.
नमस्कार.
साहब मेरा नाम पनींद्रा
जी.
उधर बात चल रहा है, वो स्टूडेंट्स ने पाकिस्तान को सपोर्ट किया ऐसे क्रिकेट का मामले में. whatever it may be, they supported our enemy bloody Pakistan. Okay. That Vice Chancellor, they have taken very good action. This is a lesson for all Indian Muslims.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for calling in on the show. I want to go back to our guest who is joining us from Kashmir, and I want to ask you, sir. So the fact is that many are saying that, Mr. Sadiq, and I'm posing this question to you, that it's not for the first time. This case is not in isolation. There have been many instances where we have had Kashmiris raising anti-India slogans. Now, would you agree if some of these students are found guilty, they should be booked for sedition?
No, let the inquiry first happen. You can't just decide that,
That's why I said
every caller who's been calling you, where's the tolerance level? Why don't you give the benefit of doubt to those students? I mean, it's just because somebody said, I mean, these poor students, they're used as a pawns. In the sense that, just for electoral politics.
No, I also want to understand, what does the Chief Minister mean when he said these students were misled? He said that the students were misled. Who can be misled in chanting pro-Pakistan or chanting anti-India?
There is a there is a difference between what the sedition charges are and plus what the disciplinary action is. When we say about disciplinary action, that's the university is bound. It's within their competence to charge them with indiscipline. While, like the VC just now said, he has charged them with indiscipline, and he may or may not revoke. That's up to him. We're not going there. So my point is, let the investigation happen. But while as the university authorities have not gone out and filed an FIR, why would the police
you haven't
go and
answered
file
my question,
sedition
sir. You
charges?
haven't answered what did the Chief Minister mean when he said these students were misled. How can these students be misled on chanting anti-India slogans if there were any? And I say if, the report will come out clean, but if there were any anti-India slogans.
The point that was to be, that's what I'm saying, let the report come out. Our point of view was that they have gone there to study. If they have done something wrong, they have been misguided then. So this is what precisely our point has been.
Okay, stay with me, sir. Brigadier Mahalingam also wants to come in. I'll come to you, sir, in just a bit. Just give me a second. We have Vadat, meanwhile, joining us from Srinagar. Vadat, go ahead, express yourself.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam, sir. Bataiye.
Sir, if supporting Pakistan is anti-nationality in India... Sir.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. Carry on speaking.
Sir, if supporting Pakistan in India is anti-national, then for that purpose you are booking the Kashmiri student, then why you are not booking the whole Kashmir?
Okay.
Because whole Kashmir is supporting every single person is Kashmir, every single woman, every single children is
Vadat, I'm sure you cannot talk on behalf of every single Kashmiri in the country, but thank you very much indeed for calling in. Brigadier Mahalingam, you wanted to weigh in. Come in.
See, what I wanted to basically say was, we were talking about benefit of doubt. Now, when an inquiry is held, whether somebody is guilty or not guilty, where there is no question of benefit of doubt. If as students who have come there to a college and if they are shouting anti-India slogans or pro-Pakistan slogans in Indian land, eating Indian food and drinking Indian water, I think it is not acceptable. They need to be taken to task. Therefore, there is no question of any benefit. And similarly, misled. What is this misled? The people either they knowingly say, or they are sort of it's wrong. I
Okay.
don't think there is anything misleading involved.
I want to go back. I want to go back to the fate of the lives of these 67 students, and I want to go back to Mr. Chaudhary for that. Mr. Chaudhary, are you assuring us today that you will revoke these charges? After all, it's the UP police that has charged these 67 students with this. And today we know that the Chief Minister of JNK has spoken to your Chief Minister. Are you assuring us today on NewsX, sir, that you will revoke these charges and they can go back to that university in full security and safety?
See, my friend, as a human being, having common sense, as a citizen of this country, we know how important Kashmir is to us, how important every single Kashmiri is to us, how important it is to instill in their minds, in their heart, that we love him, And I am dead sure my Chief Minister understands his responsibilities 100,000 times more than me. Please do not stop me. Let me tell you, my friends, that such incidents, as the Brigadier said earlier, have happened many a times in our country. Matches, India, Pakistan, emotions boiling and all that. This is one of those small incidents. What is really important is that please try to understand and appreciate the action taken by the police, and in the heat of the moment I am saying, I am the Chief Minister, my friend, that you've
tainted the future of these 67 students by charging them under sedition and then revoking it for them.
No, please.
What about the trauma that you put these students into? Today you want to revoke all those charges. What the fact is, no, I'm Akshay here, sir, and we welcome what you're saying. We welcome the SP administration is realizing that you acted in a hasty decision, and it will be nice that after a thorough inquiry you take necessary action required if anybody has been anti-India. We'll have to, Mr. Chaudhary, we'll have to leave it at that. We'll have to leave it at that. But thank you very much indeed, Mr. Chaudhary, Mr. Sadiq, and Brigadier Mahalingam, and all the callers for participating on Speaker India. That's all we have for you for the moment. Headlines and top stories to continue. Good night.